You could have the best beef in the country. You price it right, and it's just amazing, but you don't sell it, or you can't sell it. You've tried, but no one's buying it. And the reason is not the price or the quality, it's because people don't know that you exist. People haven't seen it. Getting out in front of people is a step that a lot of farmers skip entirely, or they do it in a way that's actually working against them and they don't even realize it. Welcome to Module 7. This is getting your farm in front of people, getting your farm in front of eyes. Own your audience before someone else does. So, most farmers build their audience on what I like to refer to as rented land. Facebook followers, Instagram followers, TikTok with maybe a video that took off once. None of that actually belongs to you. They're not your followers, your customers. They belong to those platforms. When the algorithm that determines when your content is put out changes, your reach drops. And when the platform decides to show less of what you're putting out there because you may have put the word sale in it or you did something that is not what their algorithm is trained to put out there, then your sales drop. And then here's the other problem, is that most farmers treat all of these platforms exactly the same. They post the same piece of content everywhere and then wonder why this isn't turning into sales. The main reason they're not turning into sales is because they don't understand what those pieces are supposed to be doing. There's really two main things or two pieces of the puzzle that every farm needs. One is a consistent presence where your customers can find you. And two is an audience that you actually own. Not Facebook, not the platform, you, the farm. Everything else, social media, word of mouth, they're small pieces of the puzzle, but essentially they're noise if you've got those two main things in place. Having a place your customers can find you and having an audience that you own. So let's talk about some ways that you can get your farm in front of eyes. Number one we're going to talk about is the farmer's market. The farmer's market gives you really one big thing that platforms and all that don't give you, and that is a place where customers can find you consistently that want your products. And they can do this predictably week after week. The foot traffic is real at a farmer's market in that people that may visit you your first time then become regular customers. And not only that, sometimes then those regular customers actually bring people with them and they become your customers. But here's something that a lot of farms don't do at the farmer's market, and I think it's the biggest missed opportunity that you can have at the farmer's market. Yes, the farmer's market's great for sales and getting those customers in, and you're getting in front of people. But one of the best things you can do for your farm is have an email sign up at your booth. You can have a tablet set up where people punch in their email. You can just have a clipboard with a piece of paper that says, hey, give us your email, stay up to date with what's happening at the farm. Free news, free tips. If you've got your email stuff automated, which is some of the stuff we do at Homegrown Hosting, you can actually have them sign up, and then when you put them into your system, it'll automatically send them a coupon. Getting those emails at the farmer's market is worth more than the sales you're making at the farmer's market. And we'll talk about why in a minute. So farmer's market, it's work, it takes time, but definitely a way to jumpstart your farm. And it's the best thing that we did for our farm. Starting out, we actually did farmer's markets for almost 8 years, 7 to 8 years. So don't sleep on farmer's markets. They're a great way to get in front of people, and you can use it as a way to also build your email list. Now, social media. We talked about that a little bit ago, and I'm not a fan of social media. I despise it. I think it has some benefits. One, I love Facebook Marketplace. I like using that for bootstrapping my farm, finding stuff. Also comics, Pokemon cards, and Magic the Gathering, but that's a whole nother topic. But really, what you need to treat social media as is as a discovery tool. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, these platforms exist essentially to introduce you to people that may not know that you're there. Someone is just scrolling through TikToks or Instagram feeds and they see a picture of cattle and they might stop for 3 seconds, then they move on. It's did its job. You're not selling them anything with social media. You're not trying to move product. You're trying to just let people know that you exist. You're essentially becoming someone they've never seen before. The mistake a lot of farmers make is trying to sell at this stage. Buy our beef at $8 a pound, shoot me a DM. And that's honestly just a waste of time to people that have never seen you before, they know nothing about you, and most are just going to scroll right past you. I like to say you haven't earned that sale yet, because I believe everyone that buys for our farm, we need to earn them as customers. We need to convince them why we're better, why our products can benefit them, why we're different from the farm down the road or the local grocery store. So for social media, show your farm, show your animals, show your process, be real, be consistent, give people a reason to follow you. That's the job really social media is designed for, and it does well if you use it that way. Another thing I'll throw in here is that if you're trying to sell anything on social media, you're likely not going to reach hardly anyone because their whole business model is on boosting and ads, and that's what those are for. If you want to run an ad, great. They can actually target people, demographics, interest, but you have to pay for that. And if you're trying to sell and not paying them to do that, then most likely the algorithm, that's some sophisticated technology. I know it sounds the algorithm, but you're talking about multi-billion, close to trillion-dollar companies with masterminds that have created these algorithms to do very specific things. And one of those things is to not let you advertise for free on their platform. So they're going to make sure you know you need to boost your stuff. You need to pay for an ad if you want stuff like that to get reach. That's why I say show pictures of your animals, show pictures of your farm, what you're doing, but don't use it to try to sell, because if you do that, reach can already be bad and it's going to be even worse for that. And in a minute, we're going to talk about what you really need to use social media for. Let's talk about your email list and why that wins every time, hands down. Facebook followers are rented. Email followers are owned. That's not a metaphor, that's not an analogy, that is literally how these platforms work. Facebook can decide tomorrow that, hey, I'm going to show your post to 3% of your followers. That's how it works, and you have no control over that. You have no say over that. You have no influence over that. They do it all the time. Your email list does not work that way. Your email goes out to 100% of the people, and almost every 100%, it goes to their inbox, they're going to see it. You send it, they get it, versus a Facebook or an Instagram post where you send it and maybe 3% of the people on there see it. And here's the thing about email is you don't need a huge list. You get a couple hundred people on there, you're golden, because people on your email list are people that actually opted in, they want to buy from you, and they physically signed up so that they could receive information from you. And that's way more valuable than your 2,000 Facebook followers who just like giving you thumbs up for every picture you put up there, but are never going to place an order. Email is where the relationship with your customer really deepens, and that's where the sale is going to happen. Now that we've talked about email and Facebook and social media and all that, let's talk about what a funnel is. You may have heard this, a marketing funnel, top of funnel, funnels in reference to marketing. What is a funnel? Here's how it all fits together, and here's why the order matters. Think of this like an actual funnel. The purpose of a funnel, think of when you're putting oil in your tractor or your vehicle. You have this funnel that comes down into a spot and then goes down into the machine or wherever you're putting it at. The top is wide. You can pour here, you can pour here, you can pour here. Anyway, it's all going into the funnel. And we're trying to get that all to one spot, which is inside the engine or inside of a small pinpointed area. So when we refer to this in marketing, you have the top of the funnel. That's the great big wide area at the top before it starts to narrow. And this is more what we call awareness. This is where people find you exist. This is where social media lives, in the very top of the funnel. Your farmer's market table lives here. A post that maybe your friend shared lives here. At this stage, these people, they don't know you. They haven't learned to trust you. You haven't given them a reason. You haven't built that trust yet. Essentially, you're just making people aware that you exist. And that's its purpose. That's exactly what you want the top of the funnel to do. Now, that's the top of the funnel. As we go down the funnel, it narrows. So let's say we're about in the middle of the funnel as we're going down. Much less area there. And this is what I call consideration. So we were awareness at the top. Now we're about halfway down the funnel, and this is consideration. This is where someone goes, oh, I've actually seen this farm, but you know what? I think I'd like to learn more about them. This is where they may get interested in what they saw that you offered, what they saw that you presented in social media or at the farmer's market. In this middle of the funnel, this could be your website, if you have a website, because they had to move from one place, which was at the top of the funnel, where they saw you on social media, and you might have had a link to your bio or a link to your website there, and they're getting to your website. This could be your email list. This is where they saw you at the farmer's market, signed up for your email list. Now they have moved down that funnel a little bit because they made a choice to follow you because they want to hear more about what you have to say and what you're offering. It's basically when they get to this stage, they're what we call a warm lead. At the top of the funnel, they don't know you. That's called a cold lead. They just don't know much about you. There's no trust there. It's the first time they're seeing you. But if they decide they want to see more, they're warming up to you. They're becoming what's called a warm lead. They're essentially raising their hand and they're saying, hey, I want to hear more of what you have to say. And then the final piece of this puzzle is the bottom of the funnel. This is where we want to get people. This is where the sale is going to happen. This is where your farm makes money. This is your online store. This is your form they're going to fill out for a service. This is your checkout. The people that actually make it to this point in the whole process of the funnel, they trust you. You've earned their trust. Now your main thing is just don't get in their way. And I'll show you what I mean by that in the next module. Sometimes we create friction in our processes that causes people to pause, and we want to avoid that. And again, we'll talk about that in later modules. But bottom of the funnel, this is where we want to get people. This is where the sale is going to happen. And this is a big reason why social media doesn't work for farms, is because they are trying to use what should be the top of the funnel. Well, they're trying to take social media and flip it upside down and use it as the bottom of the funnel. They're trying to make the sale here. They're trying to essentially treat people as a warm lead when that's not really the purpose of social media. Again, social media is to help them progress to the website and the places that are going to solve their problem or get them what they need. And there is a system to that. You got the top of funnel awareness. Some of them are going to make it to the middle of the funnel, which is consideration. They want to know more. They're considering what you have. And then some of those, smaller percentage of those, are going to make it to the bottom. And that's where a sale is going to happen. They're going to become a customer and they're going to follow you. Trust has to be built before a stranger is ever going to give you money or their credit card number. Here at Longbottom Farm, that's essentially how we got started with our email list. We didn't even have a website right off. I was using an email service and it was free. And we had set it up at the farmer's market where we were just collecting names on a clipboard. And I would put those into emails. And then shortly after that, around close to the same time, I started learning more about websites. And that's when we also set up a website. And from there, we put a lot of email captures on the website and essentially funneling in emails from wherever we could get them. And this replaced a lot of stuff. It replaced a lot of DMs and texts. It replaced a lot of me chasing customers down and just really ineffective ways of communicating. The website specifically, it made it super easy where I could put everything in one place. I could put an FAQ. If I did get a question or a DM, I could just simply put a link that would refer them to the FAQ. I don't have to explain it. It's already explained there. And then too, we started treating social media that way. Now, it's not to say I've never posted a sale or tried to do something on social media, but once I really learned what social media was for, we stopped that. We just started posting farm stories. It wasn't about selling. It was trying to do good pictures. It was trying to do things that we thought the algorithm would push out there. Again, not to get sales, but just to make people aware of us. Then, link in bio or in a comment, that's where we would have our farm website. And then, hopefully funnel people through there, using it at the top of the funnel, awareness. And this worked really well for our farm. It still works well today. And one thing I'll say about social media is that there are a lot of them out there. There are a ton. Don't feel like you have to post on every single one. What I recommend is pick one or two that you're familiar with and that are likely where your customers are. For us, it's Facebook and Instagram. You just use those. Just post to those. Something I've learned with social media is that consistency is more important than quality. And that sounds bad, but it seems to be the way it is. If you're posting the most amazing stuff, but you're only doing it 1 week and then you don't do it again for 3 weeks, you're not gonna get much reach, meaning you're not gonna get much awareness in the top of that funnel. If you're posting every other day, pretty much on schedule, some of the posts may not be the greatest, but you're sharing a picture of an animal, something happened at the farm, a life lesson, just anything. The consistency matters a lot more than the quality. So try to stay consistent. And even with Facebook and Instagram, they have something called Meta Business that we use, which will let you actually schedule posts for Facebook and Instagram. So you can just sit down, say on a Monday, have 12, 15 pictures and space them every other day. And you can schedule them, meaning you can do it all at once and then not have to worry about it for 3 weeks. So that's an easy way that we found to do that. It's just to sit down at one time, spend a couple hours, take care of it all at one time, and then you're covered for a good while. And then also just remember, don't expect social media to do a job it was never meant to do. Purpose is awareness. So post consistently, schedule it if you can to make it easier for you, and then move on. That's the whole strategy. So here's some actionable things that you can do this week. If you don't have an email list, start this week. I've got a sign up down below to Kit. It is an affiliate link, but the cool thing is Kit's free. So it's not costing you any money. I'm not getting any money. It's not costing you any money. But if you sign up with them, I think it's under 1,000, it may be under 10,000, that it's free. And this gives you a platform where you can send out marketing emails, send out emails to your customers, and it's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. Link down below in the description. And the cool thing about Kit is that they will actually give you a landing page. So obviously a website, that's what we do with Homegrown Hosting. We set these up throughout the website. That might be through email pop-ups, different things, but Kit will give you a free landing page. It's a web page. You design it, it has an email sign up on it, and then you can give people that web address and they can go to it and sign up. And again, this is all free. It's included with your account with Kit. So definitely check them out, link below. And then once you get either Kit or whatever email, if you've already got something set up, send out an email this week. And just keep it down to earth. Hey, things are picking up on the farm. It's springtime. Just wanted to let you know what we have available, what we have to offer. And just make a little list in there. It's not to say that that guarantees sales, but at least you're putting yourself in front of people that have opted to receive what you were doing. So it doesn't hurt to send out an email. Now with emails, I always recommend don't always market. Sometimes just a life lesson on the farm. Sometimes a recipe. Sometimes an event coming up. You know, you want to keep it, you know, I try to relate our farm as the people you're selling to are real people. They're customers, but they're people. They have problems like people. They have wants, needs like people, and you're the same way. And sometimes if you can be a little vulnerable in your emails, talk about you're having a bad week. People can relate to that a lot more. And, you know, we found that a lot of the customers we have aren't, I mean, our products are great. I think they're awesome. But a lot of people just follow us because they want to support us. We've been real with them. We've shared the ups and the downs, you know, like a YouTube channel or anything. It's, you know, people get invested. They don't just always want to see success. They don't always want to see how great you did something or how awesome your life is. They you know, sometimes share the downsides too, because that makes you real and that builds trust. When you can be real and relatable, that's one of the best ways to build trust. So this week, send out an email. If you don't have a platform yet, sign up with Kit. And then apply this to your social media. You got to do these 2 steps first. Main thing is you got to have either landing page or a website. The landing page, again, is free with Kit. And then look at your last 10 social media posts. Were you trying to sell anything through those posts? How much traction did they get? What worked well, what didn't? But now that you have a landing page, use that in your post. Put it in your bio. Try to send people there, because now they're going to go to that landing page and then hopefully sign up for your email. And now you're building your email list. And also, if you do have a website, please make sure you have email captures on it. Pop-ups suck. I'm not a fan of pop-ups. They're annoying, but you can do pop-ups in a way that's not annoying. What's annoying about a pop-up is when you first get on a site and that's the first thing that covers the whole page and you can't even see what you were trying to read, and annoying. But if you do a pop-up where you get to the page, you're scrolling a little bit, you see what you want, and then maybe 10 or 15 seconds later, a slow pop-up or a pop-up comes in that doesn't take the whole screen, has a very clear X, and it's also it's not loud, it doesn't have sound, and it's just very targeted. Hey, save 10% on your next order, sign up here. That's it. Those work. They work great. And people lump them in with the pop-ups that you might get on entertainment channels and stuff like that. These pop-ups work, and they're definitely worth doing, so use them if you have them on your website. Have just regular email sign-ups. Have a sign-up in your footer. Make sure it's easy for people to sign up for your email list. And so that was a lot of things right there. You don't have to do all of these at once, but this is a really quick way to get started. Either have a website. If you don't have a website, get a free landing page through Kit. If you have email already, send out an email. If you have social media and you've already set up the landing page or you have the website, make sure it's linked in your social media, in your bio. Every post you make, put a link in the comments. Hey, check out our website. See what more we have to offer. Hear more stories from our farm. Put your website link. And again, I recommend doing this in the comments. You can post on your own post, make it the first comment. And that's it. And if you're already selling, tired of text messages, Facebook DMs, or maybe you're actually paying a platform for every sale that you make, you're giving them a percentage, check out Homegrown Hosting and fill out the 5-minute questionnaire at homegrownhosting.com. I'll send you a custom plan for your farm in 24 to 48 hours that'll help you make money by selling your products while you're farming or while you're sleeping. All right, guys, this one got a little long, but a lot of information. Watch it again if you need to. There's a lot in here. I think this is one of the most important videos I've done in a way that would help your farm be more successful. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next module. All right, bye. Okay, I just had to get them run from a wasp, so we're back on track. Whew, they're bad this year. All right, where were we at? It gives your